Part 1. I found out my partner has a second family. Hey Reddit, I never thought I'd be that person writing one of these long, "You won't believe this" posts, but honestly, I don't know where else to put all of this. My brain is still trying to process it, and my therapist doesn't want me bottling things up. So here I am, about to word vomit the story of how I found out my partner, the man I thought I was building a life with, has a literal second family. Buckle up. This is going to sound like a Netflix drama, but unfortunately, it's just my life. The background. I, 32F, met Adam. Not his real name, obviously, 5 years ago at a friend's wedding. Classic me cute. He spilled champagne on me. I made a joke about him owing me a dry cleaning bill, and next thing you know we were sneaking off from the dance floor to talk by the buffet table. Adam was charming in that effortlessly confident way. Tall, dark, dressed sharp. He had that kind of charisma that made you feel like you were the only person in the room when he looked at you. I ate it up, I won't lie. We started dating. At first, it was a lot of weekend dinners, late-night drives, him surprising me with flowers. He said he worked in consulting, which I still don't really understand, but okay. The hours were weird. He traveled a lot, sometimes gone for a few days during the week. I chalked it up to his job. After about a year, I moved into his place. Well, technically, he moved into mine. I had a rent-controlled apartment in a good neighborhood, and he said it was smarter financially to live there while he rented his house out. At the time, it felt like a practical decision. In hindsight, red flag number 1. The little things I ignored. There were always little quirks. Stuff that made me tilt my head and go, huh, that's odd. But then I'd brush it off because relationships aren't perfect. His phone was always on Do Not Disturb after 9 p.m. He said it was because he needed healthy boundaries from work. Fair. I believed him. He never added me on Facebook. I don't use it much, he claimed. Same excuse for not posting us on Instagram. He insisted on handling all bills himself, even things like utilities for my apartment. Easier for taxes, he said. I thought, wow, what a responsible guy. Looking back, I want to shake my past self. But at the time, none of it seemed like a deal breaker. The first real suspicion. Fast forward to last year. We'd been together 4 years at this point, living like any normal couple, talking about marriage in that someday way, discussing baby names as a joke, adopting a cat together. The cat, BTW, is 100% on my side now. Cats know. One Thursday night, Adam said he had to fly out for a last-minute work trip. Not unusual. He kissed me goodbye in the morning, suitcase in hand. Except, he left his iPad at home. Now, I'm not proud of what I did. I wasn't snooping intentionally. But the thing dinged while I was watching TV, and I saw the preview of a message. It was from someone saved as M with a little heart emoji. Can't wait for our trip this weekend. The girls are so excited to see you. Love you, 2 hearts. I froze. Girls? Trip? Love you? At first, I told myself maybe it was his sister. He had mentioned a sister once, years ago, though I couldn't remember her name. Maybe she had kids. Maybe they were close. I tried to believe that. But curiosity, and let's be honest, panic, got the better of me. I opened the messages. And what I saw made my blood run cold. There were months of texts. Pictures of Adam with 2 little girls, like 6 and 8 years old, playing in a park. Selfies of him kissing this woman. At what looked like a family barbecue. Him reading bedtime stories. Him saying things like, "Good night, princesses. Daddy loves you." Daddy. That word hit me like a truck. I sat there on the couch, shaking, scrolling through what looked like an entire parallel life. He wasn't just cheating. He had a whole-ass family. A partner. Kids. A house. And he was splitting his time between us like some budget airline. The fallout begins. I don't even remember how long I sat there. Hours, maybe. The cat eventually curled up on my lap like, chill, human. But I couldn't chill. My brain was spinning. How long had this been going on? Did she know about me? Did his kids know? When Adam came back from his trip, I tried to play it cool. I didn't confront him right away. I needed more info because part of me still hoped there was some bizarre explanation. So I did what any sane, rational person would do in this situation. I stalked. I found M's Instagram. It wasn't hard. Her handle was literally in one of the text previews. She had photos galore. The girls' first day of school, family trips to the beach, Adam grilling in the backyard. Their family home looked cozy, suburban, very Pottery Barn catalog. And in almost every picture, there was Adam, smiling, holding a kid on his shoulders, hugging M. I thought I might throw up. The confrontation, round one. When I finally confronted him, it wasn't some dramatic shouting match. I wish it had been. Instead, it was quiet. I showed him the iPad, the texts, the photos. My hands were shaking so badly, I almost dropped it. Who are they? I asked. For a moment, his face went blank. Then he sighed. Actually sighed, like I just asked him to take the trash out. They're my family, he said. Just like that. Calm. Matter of fact. I laughed. Actually laughed, because what else do you do when the man you've lived with for years casually admits he has a wife and kids? You mean your family. Not our family. Because apparently, I'm just what? A side quest. He rubbed his temples. It's complicated. No. No, buddy. IKEA furniture is complicated. Tax season is complicated. This was betrayal. I asked him how long. He admitted, without shame, mind you, that he'd been with them for over 10 years. 10 years. He started dating me when his youngest was a toddler. I couldn't even find words. My throat closed up. My chest felt like it was caving in. He tried to spin it. Said things like, I love both of you in different ways. You make me feel alive. My marriage has been dead for years. I wanted to scream. Instead, I told him to get out. Right then. He tried to argue, but the look on my face must have scared him because he left. But of course, that wasn't the end. Because when you discover your partner has a second family, it doesn't just stop with kicking them out. There are ripple effects. Lies unraveling. People you thought you knew showing their true colors. And trust me, the rabbit hole went even deeper than I could have imagined. Part 2. I found out my partner has a second family. So yeah, after I told Adam to get out, I thought I'd feel some sort of relief. Like, okay, the bomb's dropped, the worst is over. But honestly, that was just the blast radius. The real destruction hadn't even started yet. The night he left, I sat in my apartment surrounded by all his stuff. Clothes in the closet, toothbrush by the sink, his stupid collection of cufflinks that I always thought made him look like a wannabe James Bond. It hit me that the man I'd built a 5-year life with wasn't just gone. He'd never actually been mine to begin with. And worse, there were kids involved. Real, actual children who had no idea their dad was living a double life. The spiral. For the next few days, I spiraled. I mean, how do you go to work and smile at your coworkers when your entire reality has cracked in half? My cat was the only one I could cry in front of without feeling judged. Shout out to Pumpkin, the only man in my life who hasn't lied to me. I went full detective mode. I scrolled through M's Instagram again, zooming in on every detail. Their house, their vacations, the kids' names, which I won't repeat here for privacy, but yes, I now knew them. And the timeline. God, the timeline. Posts from years ago that overlapped perfectly with trips Adam and I had taken. Like there was a picture of him at Disney World with his daughters in matching Minnie Mouse ears. The same weekend, he told me he was in Chicago for a conference. It wasn't just cheating. It was calculated. Planned down to the hour. He was living 2 parallel lives, switching costumes depending on which stage he was on. The decision. Here's where I probably screwed up, but honestly, I don't regret it. I decided to tell him. At first, I debated. Part of me thought, she probably already knows. But another part of me, the part that couldn't stop picturing those little girls calling him Daddy, couldn't stomach the idea of letting her stay in the dark while I suffered alone. So, I found her Facebook. Sent her a message. Simple, blunt. Hi, I don't know how to say this, but I've been in a relationship with Adam for 5 years. I only just found out about you and the kids. I thought you should know. I stared at the screen for a solid 10 minutes before hitting send. My hands were sweating so badly, I had to wipe them on my jeans. She didn't reply right away. Hours passed. I thought maybe she'd blocked me. Then, at midnight, my phone buzzed. It was M. The wife responds. Her first message. What are you talking about? I explained. Gave her dates, screenshots, proof. At first, she was defensive, even angry. I don't blame her. I was basically a stranger blowing up her marriage at midnight. But then I sent her a picture. One of Adam and me together from last Christmas. Him in his stupid, ugly sweater, arm around me, our cat in his lap. Her reply was just, holy sh*T. Then, can you talk? So we got on the phone. And read it, I swear, it was the most surreal conversation of my life. We compared notes, trips, holidays, birthdays, and it all lined up. While he was with me on New Year's Eve 2 years ago, he was supposedly working late at her cousin's party. When he told me he had a team-building retreat in the mountains, he was actually in Florida visiting her parents. Every single life fit neatly into place like the world's most disgusting jigsaw puzzle. And the kicker? They weren't separated. They weren't basically over. They were married. Legally, church vows and everything. The plan. M and I ended up talking for hours. Crying. Laughing bitterly. Trading can you believe this sh*T stories. And somewhere between heartbreak and fury, we decided, screw it. If Adam wanted to live a double life, we were going to force him to face it. We set a trap. The following weekend, Adam was supposed to come visit me after his work trip. Instead, M and I coordinated. She invited me to their house, her house, under the pretense of having a girls' chat. So there I was, standing in her living room, surrounded by family photos of the man I thought I knew, holding a mug of tea like I was in some kind of fever dream. And then Adam walked in. The showdown. The look on his face? Priceless. I wish I could have bottled it. He froze in the doorway, suitcase in hand, eyes darting between me and M like he'd just walked into the wrong simulation. Adam, M said, voice like steel. Wanna explain this? He stammered. This isn't, what are you? I cut him off. Save it. We compared notes. We know everything. For a second I thought he might actually faint. His skin went gray. Then, like the slippery eel he is, he tried to spin it. Said we were overreacting. That he never meant to hurt anyone. That he loved us both. M laughed. Actually laughed in his face. Loved us both? You've been lying to all of us. You don't love anyone but yourself. I just stood there, shaking, but it felt good. Cathartic, even. After months, years, of being in the dark, the truth was finally out in the open. The fallout. Round 2. Of course, he tried damage control. Begged us both not to leave him. Promised he'd fix everything. But M wasn't having it. She kicked him out on the spot. Literally threw his suitcase back at him and locked the door. I stood there beside her, watching the man I'd once thought I'd marry shuffle down the driveway like a disgraced politician. It should have felt like victory. But instead, all I felt was hollow. Because here's the thing, the story doesn't just end when the cheater gets caught. There are consequences. Legal, emotional, financial. And Adam? He wasn't about to go quietly. Because when narcissists lose control, they don't surrender. They escalate. And what happened next turned both my life and M's completely upside down. To be continued. Part 3. I found out my partner has a second family. Okay, Reddit, buckle up. Because if you thought the confrontation at M's house was the climax, oh no. That was just the spark. What came next was the full-on dumpster fire. Adam loses control. After M kicked him out, Adam tried this pathetic juggling act of calling both of us nonstop. First me. You don't understand. I was going to leave her for you. Don't throw this away. You're the love of my life. I can fix this if you just give me a chance. When that didn't work, he pivoted to M. She's lying. She tricked me. Think of the kids. We can get past this. It was just a mistake. Imagine calling a 5-year-long second life a mistake. Both of us ignored him. That's when the mask slipped. He went from sweet-talking to rage.
Texts like,
You'll regret this. You're nothing without me. I'll take the kids. You'll never see them again. To M. I'll ruin you. To me.
yeah,
Charming. The nuclear option. About a week later, I came home from work and found a letter taped to my door. Legal letterhead. It was a cease and desist from Adam's lawyer, accusing me of harassment and defamation for contacting him. I laughed so hard I scared the cat. Like, dude, you cheated on both of us for years, fathered children, and somehow I'm the problem? I sent the letter to my cousin, who's a paralegal. She basically said, this is bluff garbage. Toss it. So, I did. But M? She had more to lose. She filed for divorce within days. Apparently, her lawyer told her she had a rock-solid case, especially with me as a witness. Adam did not like that. The smear campaign. When manipulation and legal threats didn't work, Adam went nuclear in the only way he knew how, his mouth. Suddenly mutual friends were reaching out. Adam's saying you're a stalker? He told people you're obsessed with him. He's claiming you made up the whole second family thing because you're jealous of his marriage. The audacity. Luckily, I had receipts. Literal screenshots of his texts, photos, his double life schedule mapped out like a deranged calendar. I didn't blast it publicly, tempting though. I just calmly showed anyone who asked. Funny how people shut up when you show them daddy's selfies with two little girls. The weird alliance. Here's the twist I didn't expect. M and I became friends. Not besties braiding each other's hair, but allies. Trauma bonding is real. We texted daily, checked in, vented. Sometimes we even joked. Like one night, she sent me a picture of a half-empty bottle of wine with a caption, "To our ex-husband, may he choke on his cufflinks." Dark humor, but it kept us sane. Her girls didn't know the full truth yet, just that daddy wasn't living at home. That part broke me. These innocent kids had no idea their father was a pathological liar. M handled it like a champ though, therapy, routines, making sure their lives stayed as normal as possible. Meanwhile, Adam was couch-hopping, trying to weasel sympathy from anyone who'd listen. I heard through the grapevine, he even tried dating again. Imagine going on Tinder while your marriage and 5-year side relationship are imploding. Peak narcissist behavior. The final showdown. Fast forward a few months. Divorce proceedings in full swing. Adam finally cornered me outside my job. He was waiting by my car, looking rough, stubble, wrinkled suit, like a villain who'd fallen on hard times. "Why are you doing this to me?" he demanded. I stared at him. "I'm doing this to you? You did this to yourself." He tried again with the charm, that old smirk I used to fall for. "We were good together. You know it. We can still be good. And we'll get over it." And I swear, for the first time in months, I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness. Just nothing. I said, "Adam, you're a liar. A coward. And the worst part? You think love is just a game you can play with two boards at once. I'm done being a piece in it." Then I got in my car and drove off. That was the last time I ever saw him in person. Where things stand now. It's been about a year since the explosion. The divorce finalized. M got full custody. Adam sees the kids under supervision, which, honestly, is generous in my opinion. As for me, therapy, wine, and Pumpkin, my cat, got me through. I moved apartments, got promoted at work, even dipped my toe back into dating. Spoiler, I grill everyone about their family situation, now like an FBI agent. Trust but verify. And I still talk occasionally. She sends me updates about the girls, funny kid stories. Sometimes we meet for coffee. It's weird, building a friendship out of mutual betrayal, but it works. And Adam? From what I hear, he's still trying to charm his way through life, but people see him differently now. His mask is cracked. He's not the golden boy anymore. What I learned. If there's a moral to this train wreck, it's this. Trust your gut. Those little quirks you brush off? The phone always on silent, the missing weekends, the reluctance to post you online. Those aren't quirks. They're cracks. And sometimes, when you finally look through the cracks, you realize there's an entire other life hiding behind them. So yeah, that's my story. I found out my partner had a second family. I lost the man I thought I knew, but in the process, I gained clarity, strength, and honestly, a friend in M. Would I trade the trauma to have never gone through it? Absolutely. But do I regret finding the truth? Not for a second. Because no matter how painful, the truth will always be better than living in a lie. So, thanks for letting me vent, Reddit. And if you're reading this while side-eyeing your partner's work trips, maybe double-check the iPad. The end.